The Environmental Protection Agency was instructed by Congress in 2009 to undertake a study on the relationship between hydraulic fracturing and drinking water resources. It should be noted that Congress did not specifically define what it meant by the scope of the study. That is, what would be studied under the heading of quote-unquote hydraulic fracturing. That emerged from the agency and from the EPA's Science Advisory Board review of the EPA's initial plans for the study. Drinking water resources in the study included all sources of water used for drinking water. This included both surface and groundwater sources. The study purpose was to assess whether hydraulic fracturing may impact drinking water resources, identify the driving factors that may affect the severity and frequency of any impacts, and they came up with some primary research questions. These questions were based around the whole process of water acquisition, chemical mixing, well injection, or indeed the actual hydraulic fracturing process, the recovery of the water from the subsurface back, the flowback water and the produced water, and then wastewater treatment and waste disposal. Under water acquisition, what impact do large volume water withdrawals from ground and surface water have on other uses of water? Under chemical mixing, the question had to do with surface spills on or near well pads of hydraulic fracturing fluids that are stored there. With respect to well injection, the questions here focused around the actual hydraulic fracturing process in the subsurface and whether contamination of drinking water could occur as a result of that injection process. And then flowback and produced water. What happens when the water comes back to the surface in terms of spills of that flowback or produced water on or near the well pads? And then finally, under wastewater treatment and waste disposal, how are these wastes treated? How are they disposed of? And are there factors involved there that could impact drinking water resources? The research approach consists of literature reviews, existing data gathering and analysis, looking at analytical methods, reviewing those methods, developing new methods, modeling and scenario evaluations for potential impacts to drinking water sources, toxicity assessments of the hydraulic fracturing chemicals used, and finally case studies where there were suspected impacts to drinking water from oil and gas operations involving hydraulic fracturing. The purpose of the case studies was to evaluate the potential impacts of hydraulic fracturing in different parts of the U.S. in different formations, investigate concerns regarding impacts on drinking water resources, evaluate if any impacts may be associated with hydraulic fracturing,